you can synthesize these things rather easily. Like I could, for example, make a pendulum that'd be highly responsive. It would be a non-magnetic thing. You check it with magnetometer, and it wouldn't give you anything, but it would respond to the nuclear spin of another material.
Interesting, huh? That's really cool. That blows my mind because, I mean,
What it
these
really
guys
talks
are
about here is
responsible
a
for
nuclear
finding.
spin coupling coefficient. So just imagine that the individual nuclei, they have an orientation within the lattice structure of whatever material they're made out of, and you would have a responsiveness for other things to try and align with their same spin axes.
Interesting.
And as they fall in, if they're slightly misaligned, they may do an orbiter rotation like you'd expect from a classic pendulum motion. And so perhaps it could be an indicator. I mean, it's not entirely unplausible.
That's what I thought too. It is possible. It's just crazy. These kids are responsible for finding over 1,500 of these pieces, and it's
That's like an 8-pointed star right there, huh? The one with the red jewel in the center.
This here.
Yeah, but it's an 8-pointed star with the indications on the circular. Okay.
Yeah, look at this one here. I thought this star to be really iconic.
The 8-pointed star is like it has to do Inanna, the Queen of Heaven, but also the Black Sun.
Yeah, that's
a 7. That's just like the one at the Vatican.
Right, in their courtyard, they have a big obelisk inside of a 8-pointed star.
So, have you ever found any of these things yourself, or are most of these being found?
I've never been to Mexico. No, I sent over $500,000 down there for research and buying pieces. So it's like at this point, I'm scared for my passport to get scanned. The places that these are in are highly, cartel infested, and they're very dangerous for us to go to.
Mike and I were talking earlier, and I was like, I tell people, look, you think the drug cartels is like the underworld? Like, you're sadly mistaken. Like, they look organized and reasonable compared to the ancient relics. It's an underworld beneath an underworld, like absolutely ruthless. So be careful.
The real shadow government is probably Satan, and that's the reality that we might have to face at some point in the future. Like even our own presidents are saying that they're not in control of our country here in America. Well, maybe that's why.
I suppose it's probably time for me to hop off and Netflix and chill with girlfriend. So
tell Liminal I love her. I love you, Jeremiah. You guys are the greatest.
Pretty great. I'll tell her.
Love Liminal. Love you, Jeremiah. Thanks for joining in. And did you say you had one last question before you were jumping off, or were you able to ask that?
Actually, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. He answered my question there, and it was where he acquired the artifact. So he has been basically paying other people to go and dig these things up and ship them over.
Yep. Yeah, I've been working with Gen 6 as well as I've investigated over 30 different families down there. I've offered money to get custom pieces made. I tried to trip them up somehow, to put them against each other. I've offered many different things to try to figure out a way to get them to slip up. And everybody's story in multiple localities all matches exactly, which is really uncommon for people that are competing against each other to sell me a product, that they're working together on the same story. It just doesn't add up, right?
Right, exactly. Because that would be the immediate thought is, okay, so he's not been there and personally dug these things up, so maybe he's getting tricked somehow potentially to get these.
That's why the Gen 6 documentary that he's showing is so invaluable, because this is exactly what I would do if I was down there trying to do this. Like I would try to show these in their entirety, and that's exactly what they did.
So yeah, you're saying in this video, the 4-hour video, that there's a couple of videos of them starting from scratch the excavation processes.
Every one of these. You'll see 40 or 50 items pulled out of the ground from multiple locations in Mexico, start to finish, all the way down to the 14-foot level.
Yeah, that's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's definitely like somebody you're put on.
There's one exactly like what I have right there.
Or it's pretty damn convincing. I'll give it that.
Crazy, right?
It is. It really leaves somebody wondering if
Yeah.
these are real, if these are genuine artifacts, if nobody's pulling one over on somebody. And the only, I
They're
think,
using ground
response,
penetrating radar there to detect them, is
right,
what showing.
well, if these are actual artifacts, if these were not fabricated in modern times based, on what we've had going on with the alien conspiracy BS, right? But if these are actually coming out of the ground like that and they've been there for extended periods of time, then one really has to wonder, basically anything over 200 years old, the characters portrayed in modern times from these, abduction, blah, 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 and big olive shaped eyes kind of characters that we kind of considered modern. But if these are not modern, if they're actually quite old, then it really does demand that we reconsider whether or not such conspiracies may have been grounded in more truth.
Yep. Well said.
Absolutely. And so 6 hours of
Well,
testimonials
it's 4
of
hours
the
of digs, and then there's a few hours of testimonials and interviews with the guys that did it. So
and you sent me a copy of it for free to watch, so I'm going to watch it after this, and we will do another stream after I've watched it the next week or two, and I'll pick out some timestamps to show of the full video to show some more legitimacy behind it. And I can show like a 30-second clip of them starting the dig, and then like a 30-second clip of it ending, and we'll give my own words that I watched the 40 minutes in between of it uncut sort of thing, and we'll go from there. But
yeah. They keep
also,
it moving really well. It's actually quite impressive. It's not just like, oh, okay, we're sitting here watching these
looks high
men
budget.
bend over all day. Like they really edited it well. There was over 40 hours of footage, and they got it down to 4, and they did really, really well.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out. I mean, it's an investigation that needs to happen, and
Yep, agreed.
it's certainly something that, man, I might have trouble
It's
deciding
intriguing.
one way or the other, realistically, because I don't have enough
Only real science, real hard science, is going
Please.
to give us the answer, and that a positive sign towards that is that you're seeing there's been so much rejection and issue in the academic community of actually getting these things tested and verified, and that a lot of the time the institutions won't touch it with a 10-foot pole and don't even respond to you.
Yep.
And that
They don't
logically,
want to lose funding. A lot of these museums and a lot of these places won't put their neck on the line because
the science
they'll
labs we're
literally
talking about.
lose funding.
They'll get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Nassim Harriman, when he came out with Klaustona, he got canceled for years.
Wait, I'm
Nassim
shocked by
didn't-
that. Like him and Braden, like what is the NDA with? You guys are saying it's Gaia. Is it really Gaia?
Okay,
Do
so
you know that?
supposedly Taurus Tech is where the NDA is actually held through, and Taurus Tech is being funded by Gaia, I believe. Taurus is their lab, but supposedly they were working on one of these tablets in the lab. This was per Emery Smith, and they unlocked some sort of frequency that caused some sort of weird portal to open. They didn't know how to close it. It freaked them out very, very much, and since then an NDA has been signed and no information has been let out about it.
You said it's the Taurus lab, like TORUS or
Yeah, Taurus Tech.
TAU? What?
No, Taurus, like a Taurus inside of a
Like a Taurus field.
like a spinning Taurus or whatever.
Okay.
TAURUS.
And Emery
Yeah.
said this?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, not to
shoot.
me directly, but to a very close colleague. I've tried to reach out to Emery multiple times, and he won't respond.
Oh, well, I wish I knew this before I was in Vegas with him.
Yeah, no, I heard you mention the name earlier. I was like, oh,
Controversial.
small world.
figure out. Have you ever seen this spot, Mike?
Yeah.
So I've seen a video where like
It's
this
fake.
cord here, it's fake, where they
Yeah, where they
jackhammer
go
into
down the
this.
long stairwell, and then all of a sudden at the end, there's pieces like, actually, my piece
Yeah,
is
it's
in that video.
I could tell it was edited, and it looked like it was like
this piece right here is in that video, and it's mine, and that's my footage, and yeah, I noticed that, but no,
But
that's
then
multiple
the
videos.
jackhammering of it open, though, is that legit? And do you know where this location is in Mexico? Like, can we
I've heard that
inquire
that's in Peru, near
Oh,
is it Pumapunku? No, I can't remember the
Pumapunku,
name of it there. Yeah.
Saskatchewan,
Yeah,
there's one
Cusco down in Peru.
Cusco
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Graham Hancock's in Peru right now.
Peru's definitely a whole another rabbit hole of information on this stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff being covered there as well.
Oh, it
I know
is.
I have a guy down there that has over 60 artifacts with gold and similar depictions to what I have.
Ooh, that Gilgamesh. Ooh.
Yeah, the
Yeah. I wonder if
Gilgamesh
that's
and
real.
Nimrod. Well, I've actually found.
I heard that in the
years-
70s they started taking, like, what they did was they had taken these, they had these ancient people like what you're looking at right here, these ancient beings that were buried.
flesh.
They got their DNA and that they started implementing in really psychic women and making certain projects out of them, like,
Yep.
and you know,
That's what it says in the Bible, even that the angels came down, or the God's children came down and mated with the women because they were fair. That's in Genesis chapter 6. And I mean,
Yep.
that's crazy.
So,
Where's the children, you know?
from the videos I've analyzed of these Gilgamesh, Nimrod, supposed fleshy mummies, I've actually found remaining over 8 of different king corpses of these, and the 2 bigger ones that appeared to be 12 to 15 feet in height and just decked out in gold from toe to crown on top, like full golden armor. Those 2 have been expunged, and I have not been able to find a video or photo of them online in the last 10 plus years. But the ones that are remaining are short clips of like 1 to 2 minute clips of each one of these places, the tombs being entered and whatnot. But when I originally saw these videos 10 to 20 years ago, when they first came out, that they were all 20 to 45-minute long videos. And Carmen Bolter, RIP to her,
ooh,
but
look at that.
she had also published one of these oh my goodness, tombs that they entered, and she found in Egypt that was identical, and it was gold artifacts just littered, like you couldn't walk because it was like 3 feet of piled up just golden everything. And it was mind-blowing. And then the tomb of these fleshy supposed mummified deity king demigods that they seem identical to the reports of the fleshy mummified king queens in China that they've also recovered.
Interesting.
They do almost seem like they're in a suspended animation state. But that was a little off topic. Back to these artifacts, and that they have that's alchemical symbols, pictographic language. Like that looks like technology, instructions.
It's the technological aspect that I really wanted to focus on going forward. But for night, I'm going to have to jump off
No,
here.
Jeremiah, don't go. We need you.
I gotta go. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this music video that she pulled up here. Coldplay, the scientist. Check that out.
Just rolled up. Oh, I would go too.
Well, yeah, we're gonna follow.
I guess I should put us all on screen there so we can say hi and bye before you go. Love you, Jeremy or Jeremiah. Jeez,
it was nice talking to you, man.
Oh, I'm never gonna get out of that one. With the I'm always gonna be somewhere between Jeremy and Jeremiah. I think for the general public.
True. Very close. But yeah, so this one here, I believe is like 1.5 meters in height. It's a giant emerald tablet, and there's like a whole bunch of them this size, just
and
massive.
we've documented probably 40 of those tablets, and so I believe to say that they might be false.
Right, so
those tablets
that's what I was thinking,
specifically,
is these ones could potentially be frauds.
Yeah. You know why?
Because
We've seen Bahamut, and we've also seen the Lady Guadalupe, both depicted with the same carving style and on the same material. And Lady Guadalupe seems really far fetched to be on something that's 10,000 years old. So could it be more modern that these tablets were made? Yes, these could have been made 1,000 years ago in Guerrero, and that's something that we are finding is some of these pieces are only 1,000 years old. Like
Wait, but
there's
with this one, wait, so you're saying this is a duplication of that one? With the other one that we were talking about is in the British Museum, of the timeline of like indicating what was going on in the sky, like the duplication. Is that what you're saying?
No. In terms of just someone made it modernly to depict that, or more modernly than 10,000 years ago, due to the depictions of Bahamut and Bahamut was only wrote about, like, I think it was in the 1400s or the 1700s, and then Lady Guadalupe, I think, was it may be in a similar era, but nowhere near 10,000.
Right, and also in these emeralds, giant emerald tablet ones, I've seen a couple with like mermaids depicted in them and some other questionable things where it's just like they're completely different in style. But like you said, it could be much later civilization because they are from a different area,
or different tribe.
They could be potential fakes and frauds, right? Like that's inevitably there will be fakes and frauds made and added into the overall market and sale and process, but the ones that are all identical or parallel in the manufacture, the materials, the inscription style, the different pictographic language inscriptions in it, and the stories that are in them, they're all from the exact same areas and would be the ones that are most likely legitimate.
Yep. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think that.
Whoa, is that a pig?
This is India. No, this is India, but look at how similar that is to some of these guys, right? Oh, and sorry, one last time with the Gilgamesh. Oh my God, forgot the other one's name. Whoever
Nimrod.
These Nimrod, yeah, whatever they could be. That. Look at this tomb is completely encased in gold.
Sexy. Gilgamesh looks sexy.
Yeah, hey Stash.
And what is this gold box with all the gems?
What's crazy with that box too is it kind of looks similar to a Tula box.
I'm gonna have to jump off here, but thanks for the show.
Thanks for coming on.
It was really
Jeremiah, come on, look at Gilgamesh. Come on.
It's really interesting to take a look at the artifacts. This is something that I'd want to do on a private call. Maybe just go over the collection and take a look at some specific pieces that happen to possess properties that we were looking for. So that's something that we'll do privately at another time. But for now, I'm going to jump off here and
fair enough,
wish you all the best.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. Have a good night.
You too.
And
take it easy, everyone.
You as well, brother. And glad that, we got one step closer from, those gotta be fake, get a scam, to, hey, I'm a little bit interested and let's investigate them a little more.
Well, I only have as much information as Alien Carvings has, right? So that's I think both of us want the answers and the truth on that. So so Liminal obviously is looking at.
I said the same thing.
At some relevance and vet that, which means
look at
wow,
this.
nice.
This is someone that wrote
requirement there.
Yeah, someone has copied the symbols off of the carving onto paper, and